you think we're
Yep.
already in World War III? We just don't realize it?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, just like with Iran, Putin doesn't want to fight us. I mean, what are you going to do with a problem like the United States, right? You try to bear the burden of it. I can't imagine that anybody wants to just finally ultimately call our bluff because they know what kind of damage we can do. It's just a matter of technical capability. America can absolutely raise your nation to the ground even without nukes, with just an air campaign. Iraq and Afghanistan, we're trying to fight this counterinsurgency business and all that. But if you just want to destroy Kandahar City, we can have that done by 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And everybody knows that. Nobody wants to really tangle with us. So they're making the BRICS. They're doing more and more trades between nations with their own currencies instead of with ours. Right. But like, is Putin ready to give a war guarantee to Iran? Hell no. He's not going to do that. If America went to real war with Iran, Putin would say, ha, you guys are going to drown there, man. You're going to die. This is going to be 10 times worse than Iraq. We're going to bury you. Which
Yeah.
means, by the way, that didn't mean I'm going to bury you alive. I'm going to murder you by burying you alive. It meant I'll be at your funeral and I'll still be here and you'll be gone. That was what that meant. And
Mm-hmm.
so just like that Onion skit where it was like Al Qaeda now just sitting back and watching America destroy itself on TV because mission accomplished, man. That's all they had to do was knock a couple of towers down. And then America's been suicide bombing the world ever since then.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and really with the creation of BRICS with the economic, I mean, if you are one of these other countries, and like you said, you know that the United States could just bomb you into oblivion tomorrow. So you're not going to want to do that. You don't want to go to war with the US. So what is your strategy? I mean, if you're China, if you're Russia, if you're anyone else, the strategy is, well, if they just didn't have so much money, then they wouldn't be able to create such a mighty military. They would have to invest it in their people at some point. And so
Yeah.
that I think would be the strategy is just take away their economic power. And if you diminish the economic power, the people will start demanding, stop spending $1 trillion on the military, instead spend it on the American people.
Yeah.
America first, which Americans are already saying, right? But
And it also
the government's
assures
not
them,
listening.
right? It's like a force field too against American economic war against them. That like, well, you can put all these sanctions on me, but I already have a bilateral relationship with these other 7 nations. And so it doesn't matter, right?
Right.
We're not using US dollars anyway. We're not invested in US debt anyway. We're not beholden to you anyway. We found these other systems around your power. So America could still have a giant GDP, but if we don't have the levers to blackmail and bribe and extort everybody with it, then it becomes meaningless. And I think
I,
I've read even where like establishmentarian people have written about this before, where there becomes as they would put it, like a tipping point where having a sanctions war against the world becomes simply counterproductive. And everybody, more and more countries around the world find that there's one big thing they have in common. The Americans won't leave them alone. But
right.
guess what? Actually, we all have the things that we trade with them over, and we can just trade with each other and just depend on them less and less. I
Right.
mean, call it like a global informal boycott
Yeah. Well,
to
that's what
whatever
I mean.
degree
I
they
don't
can,
think,
you know?
I think that it eventually harms our GDP. I mean, there's no way around that.
Sure. Yeah.
And then we're
Yep.
forced to make some decisions on where we're spending our money,
And
which
there's
would
so
ideally
many
not
like
be
this.
on
See,
military.
yeah, this is what, the Austrian economists try to draw attention to the difference between the seen and the unseen. So you can say, oh, look, Lockheed is making a lot of money for the people with the dividend checks or whatever. But then you go, yeah, but Coca-Cola and Levi's jeans have lost tens of billions of dollars in sales over the last 20 years
Hmm.
because of America's reputation. Like, for example, in Egypt, they used to all drink Pepsi until Bush invaded Iraq. And then they switched to domestic version, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
You have that kind of thing everywhere. Where Levi's jeans was the biggest thing in the world until I don't know what the tipping point was, but American foreign policy made it where people said, no, we'll just wear different kinds of pants then, if that's how the Americans are going to be. And so the kind of opportunity cost that we pay
Yeah.
in open trade between legitimate open market businesses, not corrupt crony military industrial complex firms, is incalculable. Really,
Yeah.
it is. You know,
Scott Horton, this has been such a great conversation. Like usual, I didn't expect it to be anything less than. Thank you so much
it's
for
always fun
being
talking.
here. And we do have the link down below to your new podcast, Provoked. What is the full title of the podcast so people could find it?
It's just Provoked with Daryl Cooper and Scott Horton,
Okay,
and
that's
we're
it.
on
Okay.
YouTube and on on Apple and whatever, Spotify and all the other things there. And by the way,
Why
I have
d
a new project coming up.
Yeah.
You want to know about it?
Yeah, of course.
It's called, I don't know if you've ever heard of the great libertarian Tom Woods, and he has
Yeah.
something called the Tom Woods Liberty Classroom, where it's him and his professor friends teaching real history and economics and that kind of thing, like you should have learned in school if you'd gone to a good one. And then so now he's built me my own Liberty Classroom. It's called the Scott Horton Academy of Foreign Policy and Freedom.
Oh,
And it's going to
wow.
be me and a bunch of other greats, including James Bovard on 40 years of investigative journalism on all kinds of issues, the great Ramsey Baroud on Israel-Palestine, William Bupert on how America lost every war since 1945, C.J. Kilmer on how Woodrow Wilson was the worst person who ever lived, and all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be a huge deal. And it's at scotthortonacademy.com and should be debuting next month. We're all working very hard on getting our courses complete and everything. But we're really going to try to go live next month, and you can sign up, put your email address in there at scotthortonacademy.com, and you'll be the first to know when we go live.
Oh, that is great. Well, I hope everybody signs up their kids for that too. Like sign up your high schoolers
It's
so
going to
they
be
can
good.
actually get the right education for sure, so that we can maybe have a better future by chance. You never know. All right, Scott, thank you so much again for being on. I do have the links down below so that people can find more of your podcast, your YouTube, and also your new project. We're going to put that link down below as well. Scott Horton, thank you again.
Thank you, Kim.
Hey guys, thank you for watching this clip from the full Kim Iverson Show, which you could check out Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern at KimIversonShow.com. See you there.